Every year, HCPA puts on one of the largest FAFSA nights in the state of Minnesota. This year, due to the COVID pandemic, we are doing this virtually. Please follow along, and at the end of the presentation, we will ask every family to sign up for a one-on-one meeting to help you and your family fill out the free application for federal student aid. The objective of tonight's event is for students and parents to gain an understanding of what the FAFSA is. Students and parents will be able to create an FAFSA ID in order to complete the FAFSA. As everyone knows, college is expensive, but there is a lot of money available to students and their families. Financial aid is funding that is available to students to help pay for education after graduating high school. These sources of financial aid are as follows. There is federal aid, state aid, institutional aid, and private aid. This financial help is usually through grants, which are free, scholarships, which are free money, loans, and work study. The first form of financial aid is federal aid. Federal aid is money that the government gives to students and families. This is one of the largest areas of financial aid and where students can obtain the most money for college. Students will need to fill out the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. Not only will the students need an account, but the parents will also need an account. The only way to get this federal money is to fill out the FAFSA, which is why we're here tonight. Students and parents can start to fill this out at the beginning of October. The FAFSA opens on October 1st. Once you have completed filling out the FAFSA, students and parents will receive what they call an EFC, which is the expected family contribution. Your expected family contribution is the amount that the government feels that you and your family are able to contribute to college. State aid is another form of financial aid. State aid is government money given out by each state that will help pay for the college. Our Minnesota State Grant helps students from low and moderate income families pay for educational expenses at some Minnesota state colleges. Colleges across the country also give Minnesota state grants that will help offset college costs in other states. State aid is another form of financial aid. State aid is government money given out by each state that will help students pay for college. The Minnesota State Grant is one of the largest state grants and helps students from low and moderate income families pay for tuition, room and board, and other expenses at some Minnesota colleges. Other states offer grants to Minnesota students to help offset college costs. States like Wisconsin, South Dakota, North Dakota, and provinces of Canada have a thing called reciprocity with Minnesota, which means students in those states will pay the same amount for college as if they were going to a college in Minnesota. The second largest form of financial aid is institutional aid. Institutional aid consists of financial aid that is given by the college that a student is applying to. Each college or university will have a different fund available depending on the type of school. This aid can come in the form of scholarships, grants, and work study programs. With the pandemic that has been going on, colleges and universities across the country and in Minnesota are giving some of the largest scholarships, grants, and work study programs in the history of the college. The final financial aid type is private aid. Private aid are loans and scholarships that are given by different foundations, businesses, or organizations. Our counseling office can help you find private aid as well as on your high school and college websites. If you go to hcpa.org, you can go under counseling, and we have all kinds of information about scholarships that are available. Also, if you Google scholarships, you can also find scholarships there as well as free money that's available. Some of the websites that our students use are fastweb.com and scholarships.org. We also have many students that do scholarship essays through their English class for a scholarships that are given out through the Hmong American Educational Foundation, or HAF, as well as a foundation that's called the Wallen Scholarship Foundation. And these are colleges across Minnesota and the five-state area, and historically black community colleges that we are now part of, that our seniors can apply for this Wallen Scholarship that gives up to $4,000 a year to help with tuition. So students can start this looking for scholarships as early as their 8th grade year if they want. But seniors, there's a lot of opportunities to find private aid on websites and Google. So how much will college cost? Most colleges are very expensive. The University of Minnesota's tuition is $15,000. That does not include room and board. For tuition, room, and board at Macalester College, it's $67,000. At Harvard University in Boston, the cost of tuition, room, and board is $72,000. But here's the thing. No student, unless you own a major Fortune 500 company, is going to pay that cost. Most of the students at HCPA will pay only a fraction of what the actual cost of room and board is. So how do we find out what you really would pay? On each college website, there is a software that is called the Net Price Calculator. This is a tool that students and parents can use to get a general idea of what that college is going to cost for your family. The Net Price Calculator will ask questions like, how many people are in your family? How much money do your parents make? How much money do you make? Do you have a job? Are you planning to live on campus? The information that you give the Net Price Calculator tool is going to be only as good as the information you give it. The less information you give, the less accurate the final price will be. The more information you give the tool of the net price calculator, the better ending of finding out the cost of that college. Each college has their own net price calculator. So you can just on the search bar under the college that you're looking at, click on net price calculator or type in net price calculator and answer the questions, and you will get a general idea of what the college is going to cost. Now, please note, this does not include scholarships or grants, which is free money. Scholarships and grants are free money that the college will also give you. So say you do the net price calculator for the University of Minnesota. And once you're done with it, it says that college will cost you $5,000. It has not included any scholarships or grants that you may receive from that college. So it has not included the Minnesota You Promise grant that most of our students receive from the University of Minnesota. That is sometimes up to a $2,000 scholarship. So your cost has gone from $5,000 already down, minus the $2,000, to $3,000. Each college is different on how they compute the information that you have given in the net price calculator.
Hello, this is Ms. Maibel Lor, and I'm one of the school counselors at HCPA. I'm going to go over how to create your FSA ID. All students must have an FSA ID in order to complete the FAFSA application. You can create the FSA ID by going to fsa.ed.gov. All parents must have an FSA ID too. Parents, you can create your FSA ID by going to fsa.ed.gov. Now, the parent who has information in the FAFSA must have a parent ID. Only one FSA ID is required for your parents. Your parents may already have a FSA ID if you have a brother or sister who was or is in college. Save your FSA ID. Please save your FSA ID. Why do you need to save your FSA ID? Because students, you will use the same FSA ID for your whole college career. As for parents, you will also use the same FSA ID for all of your children who attend college. So please save your username and password, write it down on your phone, or put it with all your important documents like your social security card, healthcare card, driver's license. It doesn't matter where you put it. Just write it down and save it. Parents, it is now time for you to create your FSA ID. Before you create your FSA ID, you need to get some materials ready. You will need the following information: your social security number, birthday, your email account, and phone number. Once you gather all this information in front of you, you are ready to create your FSA ID. Please go to fsa.ed.gov to create your FSA ID. Sign up to meet with a counselor. Now, if you need help with this whole FAFSA process, you do not have to do it alone. If you or your parent need help with the FAFSA application, here's the form to sign up to meet with a counselor. A counselor from HCPA or a financial aid counselor from the Minnesota Association of Financial Aid Administrators will reach out to you and assist you in completing your FAFSA application. Please fill out the form if you need assistance. Questions. Lastly, if you have any question about the FAFSA application process or want to know about your graduation status to check if you are on track for graduation, or just want to talk about your option after high school, please send an email to the counseling team at counseling.department@hcpak12.org, and an HCPA counselor will connect with you. Also, please check out these two websites, fsa.ed.gov and studentaid.ed.gov/SA/FAFSA. They have a lot of information on the FAFSA application, colleges, and scholarship opportunity, and many more resources. Again, if you have any question, please send an email to the counseling team. Now we're going to watch an instructional video how to create your FSA ID.